Hey, what's up, guys? It's Hunter here, and time for another update video. It's been like a quarter of a year. It's been 3 months since I uploaded. It's been a hot fucking minute, and let me tell you what, there has been a lot of stuff that has happened. Obviously, you can see here. So we finally got the engine and the trans over here to the garage with the car, and not only that, but we also made a lot more progress with the car. What did we do? So we brought the engine transmission over. I brought my big brake kit over and pretty much all the parts that I had at my house. And I've put a lot of the parts on the car. The car is at a point now to where I'm going to make a video on it, on just this by itself. Kind of like an unboxing, even though I've already unboxed it. But the car is the chassis harness. I don't remember in the last video if that was swapped already, but I have already swapped the whole chassis harness on the car. The doors, I'll be popping up some pictures on here. There are some plugs that plug from the chassis harness into the door harnesses. And basically, Ford made them basically impossible to unplug without taking the door off. And I didn't feel like taking the door off. So what I did is I cut them on the 3-valve chassis harness. And then I swapped the GT500 chassis harness. Oh yeah, and by the way, the chassis harness that I got that's for a GT500 is off the exact same car that this engine and transmission came out of. So I swapped the harness. I cut both ends of the connector, so I had wiring coming off the door, the plug for the door harness that's already plugged in. And then I put the spade connectors. I put spade connectors on them so that they're all quick detach. And then I kind of bundled the cable, managed them up, wrapped them in electrical tape so that nothing can really get on them or they can unplug or anything. And I kind of stuffed them back in the little pocket hole thing in the body of the car that I don't know why the fuck Ford decided to do that. But anyway, I got that taken care of. And so the chassis harness is swapped. And then I also mentioned in the last video that I was going to put the K-member in. The BMR tubular K-member is in. The BMR tubular rad support is in. And all the new suspension is in. The rear axle is in. And the big brake kit is on for the front with the, what are they? 13 or 14 inch rotors. I can't remember which one. But then I'm running S550 base model calipers, which are big 4-piston calipers. You can get them for real cheap, like $100 on eBay. And then I got some J&M. These are some stainless steel braided brake lines for the rears. And then I bought these like a couple weeks ago. Thanks to, shout out to Rhonda on Instagram. Check him out. He was telling me that if you upgrade to stainless steels in the front, you might as well upgrade to stainless steel in the back, because with the added pressure from the tubes not expanding with rubber tubes, that will put all the pressure back on the back tubes. So if you're going to upgrade the fronts, here's the fronts. These are, oh shit. These are Willwood stainless steel brake lines for the front. It has if you decide to track the car or you brake really hard or you're driving really hard, there is a slight possibility with older rubber brake lines that with all the extra pressure from all the other steel lines, they will explode or disconnect and you'll be up shit creek without a paddle. Or should I say without brakes. So, what else do I have to do to the car? I have to do the custom wiring. I have a triple gauge pod that's going on the dash. And then I also have my AEM X Series AFR gauge that I need to do some custom wiring for. And then a couple other little things. And I need to make a custom wiring diagram for that. Which is going to be interesting to say the least, because I don't know hardly anything about wiring. I know some basic stuff when I wired up my DRLs for my headlights, and I've kind of dabbled in it a little bit. But yeah, so I have to do that. But then I also need to find where on the engine I'm going to put the sensors. I think I'm running a coolant temp gauge, a oil pressure gauge, and a boost gauge. And so I need to find where on the motor I'm going to be putting all the sensors. And then we can mount the clutch, the new McLeod RST twin disc clutch and lightweight flywheel on the motor. And then get the new slave cylinder put on the transmission, mount them together, then they go in there. And then I'll finish the wiring for the gauges and everything, and then fuel system. I also need to wire in the fuel system too. I need a custom wiring harness for that because it is a completely standalone fuel system. It doesn't integrate with the ECU or anything. It has its own, I decided to get the FC3 controller. If you want more details about that, you can go to Ford's website. Basically, it's a fuel controller that you send voltage. It's got accessory on and everything. And yeah, you got to custom wire all that stuff. So basically, yeah. So lots and lots of progress. You know what? I'm going to show you everything that's done to the car. Also, the E-Pass swap. You can't really see it, but I think I mentioned it in one of the last videos. It's been a while. I haven't watched them. But I decided to go with an E-Pass swap off of a 2013 Mustang GT. Electric power steering, basically. Got rid of you can see right here, there used to be a hydraulic power steering pump here. Yeah, I got rid of that shit. Don't need it. Nope. All electric, baby. We're making this bitch modern. No, not really, but adding a tad bit of modern features. All right, let me show you what's going on. All right, so the garage is kind of a mess. There's the transmission. And yeah, I've been busy in here. I got a new daily, so here is the car. As you can see, tubular rad support is in. BMR tubular K-member is in. The 2013 Mustang GT E-Pass steering rack is in. I reused my control arms. These control arms I actually replaced a little bit ago. They probably got like maybe 10,000 miles on them. They are GT500 front control arms. So those are good to go. And then we decided to go ahead and put new tie rods and tie rod ends on the steering rack and inner tie rods and everything. So that's fucking minty. And then here you go. Here's the S550. I think these are 14-inch rotors, 13 to 14-inch rotors. I think it's Boss 302 and 07 to 14 GT500 front rotor size. So, and then you just get the S550 calipers. And then also just a tip for when you're installing these, I read on a forum, you can see in there that little brass colored thing. You have to put one washer in between, where is it? In between the caliper and your spindle. So it'll space out the caliper and align it with the rotor just right. And then as you can see here, this is the new suspension, kind of a shit angle. These, I decided to go with Steeda. Yeah, it's going to be really hard for you guys to see that. Steeda Pro Action shocks and struts. And then I went with Eibach Sportline GT500 springs. And then we went ahead and got an Eibach camber bolt. And then up top here, you can't really see. I'm going to yeet this. And then in here, I decided to pick up 1314 upgraded GT500 upper strut mounts. So that the front suspension is fucking all set. I also, if you can see over here, these are the stock, or were my old spindles. They're fucking crusty as hell. I decided to get rid of those, and shout out to the parts farm. I got these spindles. I think they only have like 20,000 miles. They are off of a Saleen Mustang GT, like a 2007 or 2006 Saleen Mustang GT. And then they came with the ABS ring. And these are in a lot better condition. I just kind of cleaned them up a bit with a rag, and you can still see the paint. There's no rust on them. So those are fucking mint. So the whole front suspension is brand new, basically. Besides the control arms, they only got, like I said, about 10,000 miles. And then if we come over here, you can see in here how good's the camera going to be. It's going to be all right. I picked up a, oh man, that's really bad. Let me get some light. I went and I picked up a 08 GT500 gauge cluster. That cost me a pretty penny, and these are surprisingly really hard to find. And if you do find them, either somebody doesn't really know what it is and is selling it for cheap, which is very rare, or they're charging you out the ass. I paid a little bit of a high price, but the mileage should be pretty close, but we'll see. It's kind of a roll of the dice. And then here is my glow shift gauge setup. I decided to go with glow shift just because I like the way the gauges look. And you can make them white, like the font white, and then the needles will be red. That's going to match the gauge cluster. And then I paid $150 for this fucking piece of plastic, which sucks, but it's the only one that is a gauge pod mount like that. And then, yeah, so the inside of the car is still completely fucking torn apart. here is the rear suspension. I'm keeping the stock brakes on the rear because the 1314 GT500s actually run the same one piston caliper, so there's not really an upgrade. I kept my white line rear lower control arms. I have a feeling though I might need to get adjustable control arms because I read about the I forgot the word for it, but the adjustment of the axle. I might need that, so that might need to change it out. You can see the Steeda Pro Action shocks in the rear, the Eibach, or no, these are I bought new bump stops because the car actually didn't have any bump stops, and I feel like it's probably a good idea to have. Then the Eibach springs in the rear, and then you can see the whole setup. I got the axle put in with the GT500 diff cover, and then if you can see up there, got the rear upper control arm in there. Like I said, I might have to change that out for an adjustable one. And then a polyurethane upper mount. And then if you can see back there, I have the new plastic gas tank installed. Pretty fucking dope. I got a pretty sick setup for that. So you guys can see. As you can see, I had to do a custom setup for the gas tank because I also got rid of, you know, this is a race car only EPA. Also, go fuck yourself. Yeah. So I got the charcoal canister is not here, you know, temporarily, you know what I mean, if you catch my drift. And, so yeah, since I decided to go with this plastic gas tank, I also had to make a custom filler neck. So I got this Gates tube. If you want a reference, part number or whatever, if you can get it, there it is. And then the breather for the gas tank is also right here. It's just a little crankcase breather filter. And then it goes over here, over across. And then let me slide over here. Then if you can see, I have a, what brand is it? Flow Pro or Pro Flow? Fuck. It's an Australian company. Oh, Aeroflow. It is an Aeroflow rollover valve. If you're going to be doing a custom breather setup like this, I highly recommend you invest in some like decent safety equipment. This is literally cost me like, I think probably 50 bucks for the two barbed AN fittings and everything. And it's just in case the car rolls over, the gas won't just start pouring out of the fucking breather tube. And it just locks up that tube. And then it just goes over there to the breather side of the gas tank. And then the straps, the stock ones fit. You do have to kind of bang on them with like a mallet to get these corners bent right. You just kind of have to rebend it. But other than that, she mounts up just fine. I got rid of the shitty stock weird Torx bit type things and just went to the hardware store and got some nice new hardware. That's just a standard socket size because fucking around with that bullshit and stripping those out. Oh yeah, we also got a J&M panhard bar support in here, a tubular one. Got rid of the shitty stamped sheet metal version that can twist, and this is hopefully going to stiffen up the rear of the car. And then, as you can see here, this is a big-ass sway bar. I don't know if you noticed. This is a sway bar off of a 2011 or 2012 Boss 302. I'll throw up a picture on the screen. There is a very significant size difference. They are this one is pretty fucking big. Hopefully should make the car handle a lot better. And yeah, just stiffen up the rear end. So just in case I want to, you know, take it through the, I know it's a solid rear axle car, it's not a track car or whatever, but you know, make it handle a little bit better, you know. That's never a bad thing. You can always make something handle better, even if it's not meant for handling. But yeah, so I did. If you are going to install a Boss 302 sway bar, they're also pretty cheap. I think I only paid 150 bucks brand new from Ford for this. Whereas, oh shit, if you decide to get a BMR sway bar, it's going to cost you like fucking $300. So, and this is a bigger sway bar and it's OEM, and it comes with new end links too, like with it. You don't have to pay extra for that. But if you're like me and you have rear lower control arm relocation brackets, you are going to have to cut the bracket to make clearance for the sway bar because it's so big. Also, if you end up, if you're running 15s and you decide to, well, okay, so you only have to cut this and trim this. I only did one side, so it fits over on that side, but this side I had to trim. It depends on your fitment, but if you decide to go with 15-inch wheels in the back and you relocate the sway bars, you will have to do this grinding. I don't believe if you have the stock sway bar location, I don't believe you'll have to do this, but that's, you know, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure from looking at it and how it fit up, I don't think you'll have to do that if you have the stock sway bar location over there. But once you do this, you're kind of fucked because you end up cutting that bracket off. And I don't have it back, and I don't have a welder to weld it back on, so. But fuck it, we ball. We got it. It's set up. It's all fucking installed and everything. Rear suspension is done. Front suspension is done. So, yeah. The car is getting closer. It is actually very, very close. Here is the box with my 4 fuel system in it. Like I said, I'm going to be making a whole video just on this. Just so you guys can see. One more thing. With the plastic gas tank install and swap, I need to show you guys this before I end this video. If you decide to do the plastic gas tank swap, you will not be able to use the sender unit from the new gas tank. So basically what I did is this, oh shit, I'll throw a picture up on the screen. I had to find a way to retrofit the sender unit from the 2008 gas tank into this gas tank. And if you can see that kind of clear plastic in there, I made basically a spacer or a size expander for the top hat. The top hat, the actual metal part in here, that metal part is too small to seal against the hole in the gasket for the gas tank. So basically you're gonna have to custom make a little expander ring for the 2008 sender unit if you're gonna use the stock ECU and stock wiring harness. I'll throw up a picture. Basically I made it out of a cat litter box. This plastic, yeah, see, I just cut this out. And if you can see on the bottom, where is it? If you can see here, you look for the recycling logo, and it says HDPE. That is the type of plastic that it is made out of. That plastic is resistant to solvents, gasoline, and pretty much everything. That's what chemical containers are made out of. Gasoline canisters are made out of, plastic ones. So you should be fucking minty when it comes to that. And like I said, you just cut it out, show a picture, and you stick it. Basically, I got some gas-resistant gasket sealant, put it around the bottom of the metal top hat, put some on the plastic expander ring adapter, and then you kind of put it on, and then make sure you press it. Make sure all the sealant makes a good seal, a solid seal, no air bubbles. And then you stick it in the gas tank and you put the locking ring on, and you should be fucking mint. You also double check, make sure that your gas tank seals. You just blow into the gas tank, blow into the breather tube, listen for any air leaks, and just make sure that it seals up good. Also use the fuel pump assembly for the other side of the gas tank to make sure that seals up. So, yeah, and then you should be good. As long as it's airtight, you'll be fucking mint. So, I guess this is going to be the end of the video. It's kind of an update. Like I said, I'm going to drop a video on the fuel system so you guys can see what's up with that. And I'll see you guys in the next update video. Hopefully the next update video, I will have all the wiring done, or it'll just be a video of kind of like the wiring and how I kind of did it or whatever. And then the engine should be in. And really, I should just be waiting on a couple more parts. I'm selling my motorcycle, and hopefully I should have a lot more parts coming in. And hopefully another buyer won't bail on me. So, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Deuces.